Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Rundown. I am your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
No, greetings to you, Craig. My name is Mike Piwowarski, coming to you live from the East Coast as your co-host. That's the coast with the most from the co-host with the most here on the Rundown, where we bring you two a news and conservative views. Happy Thirsty Thursday, Craig.
Happy Thirsty Thursday. Anything in particular that you plan on partaking and enjoying this fine Thirsty Thursday?
Well, yeah, this stuff.
Well, I was just wondering if there was anything
Yeah.
in particular that was standing out in your mind.
Oh, no, nothing in particular. I like to walk over to them and kind of put my head down and let them call to me. Let them see who wants my attention. Let them see who wants. So yeah.
Well, there's an opportunity, at the end of the workday, at the end of the workday on Thursday. It's always nice to just say, okay, I just
Hey,
want to
it's
taste
5 o'clock here, baby.
something.
It's 5 o'clock here.
Yeah, well, I still have a few hours, unfortunately, but and then I'll, also have a meeting this evening, so it probably won't be till after my meeting that I will partake. But good time will be
Yeah.
had, and I will enjoy the evening with a nice, relaxing sip of some sort of
Yeah.
whiskey or bourbon.
Oh, exactly right. Just enough to say, it's just a taste. It's just
Just
a
a
taste. It's
taste.
just a, cleanse the palate. Let it feel it. A little taste of this one, little
Just
taste of
enough to
that one,
take it
little
the
taste of that one, little
ah.
taste of that one there, little taste of this one, little taste of that one, little taste of that one.
What,
So
you make me want to just start playing 50 cents just a little bit.
just a, just a, yep,
Yeah,
just a little bit. So
just a
not
little
going any
bit, just a little
further.
bit.
Not not going
So,
any further with the comments there. Leave it right
yes, sir.
there.
Nothing else needs to be said. Anyway, folks, hey, do us a favor. If you're watching right now, however you're watching, or however you're listening, please take a moment and share. Let your friends know that this is the place to be. However you're watching us. Once again, you can watch us on YouTube. You can watch us on Facebook. You can find us on Rumble. You can also find us on Spotify. Opsland's fantastic app to watch the program on. Also, make it a point, if you're listening to us, wherever you find your podcast, you can find the Rundown, 2A News and Conservative Views. Look us up, share us, let your friends know, encourage them to do the same. Help
It's
us
great
grow.
stuff. We're here. Come on, pass us around. Share us with your friends.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, let's go ahead and get into today's stories. We're going to start with the first one, and this is actually kind of really big news with everything that's been going on with the NRA. And unless you're actively involved in the fight for the right to keep and bear arms, other organizations like the Second Amendment Foundation, Firearms Policy Coalition, Gun Owners of America, in terms of their national notoriety, are nowhere near where the NRA is. Well, there may be a new group that is coming about, Mike, and this new group is actually being spearheaded by none other than Donald Trump Jr. That's right, the Jr. is starting his own two A group. They're going to be advocating and fighting against Democratic gun control proposals. Now, Mike, you and I talked offline a little bit about this. What do you think the advantages of having a new gun rights group out there would be?
Instant name recognition, Craig. DJT Jr. is we know that him and Eric are incredible Second Amendment supporters, and I'm not just talking hunting rifles. I'm talking all kinds of guns, from your 5-shot revolver that you conceal for personal protection, all the way up to appreciating the finer things in Class 3 firearms. And now this is going to be a DJ T Jr. doing this. I'm sure Eric will be involved at some point, but again, incredible supporters of the Second Amendment. I've run into both of them at SHOT Show before. As they're sitting at the tables going over the finer parts of firearms with some of the people there. I think this, like I said, brings immediate name recognition. I hope, and I think that they are smart enough that they pull in organizations like the Second Amendment Foundation and Firearms Policy Coalition because of the work that they've done. They'll have that name recognition, and I think immediately so be more popular than an SAF and an FPC, which is why my hope and prayers are for that. They do pull them in, and I know that they know Mr. Alan Gottlieb over at SAF,
Mhm.
and I'm sure they've talked to the people at FPC as well. So I could just see this. The name recognition alone is enough to bring power to the cause.
Well, I'll tell
And
you,
I
at
don't
first,
think
when I
this is
first saw it, when you first shared the story with me, I have to admit I was a wee bit skeptical, only because I'm like,
right.
okay, I don't necessarily see Donald Trump Sr. as the best advocate for Second Amendment, but I also know that Donald Trump Jr. Once again, like you said, isn't just an advocate. I mean, just isn't just pro gun or doesn't just say he's pro gun, but he actually does have an understanding of the issues and whatnot. Now, what I noticed as I've read through the article and as I've checked out this group called the Second Amendment Task Force, their biggest emphasis seems to be on one, voter registration, but secondly, on once again getting candidates elected who are pro Second Amendment, which, by the way, is something that neither the Second Amendment Foundation nor the Firearms Policy Coalition do. They don't get involved in the politics of it,
Right.
which would then kind of leave them in as kind of still the leaders in the arena, them and the NRA in the arena of policy. I think they're filling a void that the NRA has, at least in the last election, left pretty wide open. So I got to say this, even in the midst of conversating with this and reading a little bit more about it, I'm warming up to the idea, shall we say.
I'm sorry. I just had a little mini stroke when you said conversating. I'm not a big fan of made up words, Craig. You know that.
Yeah, well,
Um,
it is a word. You don't like the word, but it's a word.
it's not a word. It's conversing is the proper word. Thank you. Um, uh, Conversation and converse. There's no other forms of it. Uh, the but I agree. I agree with you. I think this will be a positive thing overall. I don't think they're going to end up the way of the NRA because they see the turmoil and everything that's going on there. That's why we've seen Donald Trump, the senior number 45, when he turns for advice, he doesn't go to the NRA any longer. It's now to an Alan Gottlieb and those kinds of people. So I think they'll avoid those pitfalls. That doesn't mean they might not be wandering the floor at the NRA show, but that's only because that's where the Second Amendment supporters are, not the people putting on the show.
Right. And by the way, just so you know, conversating is considered in writing, in formal writing, it's considered to be people don't like it, but in terms of oral conversations or verbal conversations, it's acceptable.
Are you writing right now, Craig? Are you writing right now?
No, I'm not, which is
It's
why
not
it's
acceptable.
wholly
It's not
acceptable.
acceptable. Not acceptable.
You
Not
don't have to like
acceptable.
it.
Well, listen, and you don't have to be right, evidently. I mean, because you're wrong.
Look, stop trying to force your white privilege on me, okay?
Listen, you're not writing. You're wronging is what you're
I'm
doing.
wrong. All right. Anyway, so hats off to Donald Trump Jr. Let's hope this thing actually turns out to be as successful as we hope it will be.
Yes, yes.
Because, by the way, if you're a conservative, even if you're not a dramatically pro-gun, which if you're a conservative, you should be pro Second Amendment. Most of the candidates who are going to be supported by this particular effort, most of the people who are going to be voting for the people registered through this particular effort, are going to be people who are going to support conservative values and issues. Just saying.
I'm glad we could converse on this, Craig.
There you go.
Notice I didn't say conversate.
Yeah, you just like talking about tennis shoes. That's okay. All right, moving
I
right
do.
along.
I'm more of a Chuck guy, but that's all right.
You had to call them Chucks. Okay.
Yep.
Anyway, so here in California, or as we like to refer to as Cal Unicornia, we had the bright idea of not only during a time in which gas prices have gone through the roof, not only are we not going to suspend the nation's highest gas tax. Once again, the nation's highest gas tax. Not only are we not going to be doing that, now we are actually going to be, hold on, I'm trying to find it here. We are actually going to be increasing the nation's largest gas tax. That's right, as gas prices are going through the roof, as inflation is going through the roof, Californians will soon be paying more for gas. Now, I know and understand kind of the policy reasons behind this, but before I share that, I just wanted to see what you thought about that, Mike.
Wait, hold on. Now I'm confused. Aren't we giving back refunds in California or something first?
Well, that was part of the discussion, but no, that has not been approved.
So we're going to we're going to save you money on gas by charging you more for gas, right?
Right.
Is that the okay? Well, then that should make sense. People should be happy then, right?
Right.
We're going to say, we're going to save you money on gas by charging
Right.
you more for it. I mean, that sounds like a win-win for Newsom.
Well, so here's what's crazy. Now, I want to first of all, I want to show you the headline. Now, the headline says California is set for gas tax hike after Newsom fails to win a freeze. Now, mind you, Newsom was not advocating for a freeze in the gas
Yeah,
tax.
yeah,
He was not. Absolutely,
right.
positively, in no way. What he was advocating for was a rebate. In other words, not even a rebate. He just wanted to send out checks to people. If you owned a
Yeah.
car, you'd get X amount of dollar. You get $400 per car that you own. So if
Oh,
you
now he's
owned a
Oprah.
dozen cars, you'd
Yeah.
get $4,800, right? Didn't matter
Oh,
if you
sure.
drove any of them. Right. Well, let me clarify. I don't know the specifics of what he was proposing in that respect, if there was a cap on the number of cars or anything like that. But it had nothing to do with if you actually drive. So, in other words, if you're spending money on gas, right, those are the people who, if anybody should be getting money back, it should be them. How do you track that? What's the easiest way to track that? Oh, I don't know. How about just cutting the gas tax? Providing the relief in that form, as opposed to just sending everybody checks. But once again, we all know his goal is to send everybody checks so that they can, so that everybody can say, oh, look what the governor sent to me. Now,
Yep.
so that whole idea failed because too many legislators actually they were like, okay, well, if we're going to provide some relief, it should go directly to the people who are suffering under the increased gas
Correct.
prices, right?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So not only did they not, but at the same time, they did not want to suspend the gas tax. Well, our gas tax is actually tied to an index. So it goes up every year depending on, drumroll please, inflation. Mike, what's been happening to inflation recently?
Which news sources do you want me to give you the references from?
Uh, okay, let's do CNN first.
CNN. There is no inflation, Craig. This is just a reinvestment in our economy.
Okay. Fox News.
Fox News. Okay, clearly we have inflation going up. Clearly, this whole lack of availability of products. The prices are being driven up around the country. Look at the price of gas. Looks at the price of milk. Those are the things you look at when you're trying to figure out what's going on. And it's clearly prices are continuing to skyrocket with these weird. Every time there's always a weird excuse, right? Oh, it's the supply and demand issue. Oh, are people drinking more milk all of a sudden than they used to? Or it's just well, I want stronger bones than I did yesterday. So it's absolutely ridiculous. Inflation is clearly growing and growing. We're watching the consumer price index going up. We're watching the interest rates go up. We are in a world of inflation rising.
Every month, they're coming out and the news reports are saying that inflation is at a 40-year high. In other words, it keeps going up every month.
Yep.
And so that means that the nation's highest gas tax is going to be even higher. In a state that, by the way, lost population, lost jobs, students, we're seeing a massive declining we've seen declining enrollment all across the state because people are moving out and taking their kids with them. That is politics in California. Just so y'all know, if y'all are thinking that, hey, maybe I'll move out to California because it's got sunny beaches and all of that. No, you can't afford it. I'm telling you right now, if you're coming from America, unless you are making like $1 million plus a year, California is going to be a hard place for you to be able to afford. Okay, all right, I'm exaggerating, but
and I'm surprised. I mean, maybe California is starting to trend this way. I don't know. You tell me. As they have more and more citizens that don't have property owner rights, right, or don't have business owner rights, it's time to raise the sales taxes instead of raising the corporate taxes and the property owner taxes, right? So, Craig, if I've got 20 million people, right, but less than half are paying taxes, well, maybe I should raise the sales tax on items because everybody pays sales tax. Only property owners and business owners pay those taxes.
Well, but they're not raising any sales taxes. I mean, you're
Well,
right because
a
well,
gas
right now
tax is a sales tax.
California
Yeah,
disproportionately relies on the wealthy, in particular the investment class, huge amounts, and high income earners.
no, I get you.
Overwhelmingly
I
is what
get you.
we rely on for tax revenue,
Right.
which is why as the stock market goes, so does
Yeah.
California's budget. It goes up and down depending on what investment revenues look like. That's
Right.
why if we
But
ever
hear me out.
have a serious
Right.
correction in the stock market that's prolonged, it is going to decimate the California budget.
Right. But hear me out.
Yeah.
You have like you said, California survives by taxing the rich,
Right.
except the rich are leaving. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so they're not getting as much tax money in. So you add sales tax, and I know you're saying they haven't added sales tax, but guess what, Craig? A gas tax is a sales tax. That's one the government controls. They don't need to go to the voter rolls to seek to raise the sales tax on gas. They can do it on gas.
Well,
So it's your
the thing is,
sales
it
tax has
automatically
gone up.
happens. They've already factored it in. As long as there's inflation,
Correct.
it's already going up.
So they've raised sales
Right.
tax on gasoline, is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Right.
So California's starting to realize that they're losing their tax money from their regular tax base, the rich, because the rich are leaving. So now it's time to tax those that don't normally pay taxes, Craig.
Mm-hmm.
Your migrant workers.
Well, but this is, I mean, it's not like this is a policy choice that they made this year or made recently. It literally was something that was put in place several years ago because nobody expected inflation to push the way and increase the way that it's been increasing.
Right. Right.
That's the thing.
Sure.
Anyway,
Sure.
you would think that, and I don't understand why the tax increase would be in relation to inflation when inflation is going to cause the price of gas to go up, thus the amount of money that's going into the tax increase that would go up. Anyway. It makes absolutely no sense to do that.
Greg, if you own a business and let's
Right.
say you own a sandwich shop, right?
Right.
And you're just breaking even, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you own that business, you decide what I need to do is bring
Right.
costs down and
Mhm.
probably stay open longer to attract more people. So instead of being open from
Right.
11 to 1, I'm going to try staying
Right.
open from 10 to 3, drive costs down and bring more people in. If you're the government,
Right.
you raise the price of the sandwiches and you reduce the time that you're open.
Right.
It's just the way that the government thinks, as opposed to looking for profit.
You're right, but by the way, I just realized. So the difference between for example, a sales tax and
Mm-hmm.
a gas tax is a sales tax is based on the dollar amount. So in other words, if I spend $10 and I have a 10% sales tax, then I pay $1. The gas tax is on a per gallon basis. So it doesn't matter what the price is. The tax is going to be the same, which is probably why they tied it to inflation, so that if the price of gas goes up, then so does the tax. But so that's a difference between a sales tax and, in this case, a tax on or I guess you could call it a commodity. But that's kind of the difference. But you're right; they're making it so that we're going to raise taxes on other stuff. We're not going to tax your income. We're just going to tax everything that you buy.
Correct.
So
Correct.
It's a way. It's basically a hidden tax. And by the way, when they
remember because migrants or illegal aliens don't get regular paychecks; they get cash under the table. How do I get money back from them? I tax the things they use.
Actually, because a lot of them use like fake Social Security cards or fake
You can now. Yeah, I know. In California, you can actually. Yeah, you can get a paycheck and a driver's license. Yeah.
But yeah, no, and see the problem is that, and then they lie about it. So when we had the initiative on the ballot to rescind the increase, this very same increase,
yes,
the Attorney General, who is now the Secretary for Health and Human Services, Mr. Javier Becerra, he, as Attorney General, and in the ballot and summary, he flat out lied. He said nothing about the facts that this would, that the initiative, if it passed, would repeal the tax increase. What he said was, oh, well, these are all the projects that won't be funded, all the transportation projects that won't be
Right.
funded if this passes. I mean, just flat out misrepresented what the initiative
Lies.
is. Just flat out lied.
Lies.
But you know
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
I will continue to say this. California voters, those who voted against the initiative to that initiative, those who continue to put these same politicians in place, you are to blame for your own situation. You're to blame, and I say you're to blame
Sure.
because you know you're being lied to, and you continue to vote for the same people.
I'm voting for the people that send me extra money in the mail. They send me extra checks. They give me
Right.
different rebates. I get my my EBT cards. I get my
And then
refunds. I
charge you
get
for
whatever.
it.
Oh, sure,
Right.
sure. But I'm not smart enough to realize that even if they send me $100 refund in the mail, it's going to come off my taxes next time.
There you go. Yes, sir, Bob. All right, moving right along. Oh, Mikey, you introduced this story, so why don't we go ahead and have you do this one? This is the Mccluskies attempted robbery.
I love the Mccluskies. If you don't remember who the Mccluskies are, they were the couple out of a suburb of St. Louis, Missouri, and the BLM showed up in their neighborhood and tore down the fence and came through because they heard the mayor used to live there. Great intelligence, folks. And they heard the mayor used to live there. They wanted to come down the street and harass people and find the mayor. Well, they came outside and defended themselves with an AR and a pistol. Uh, you fast forward ahead a year, brought to trial or pled out a couple of misdemeanors. Fast forward a little bit more, it's expunged from their records. They're it's taken off the books. So the governor pardoned them. Now the Mccluskies, or he is running for a state senator from the great state of Missouri, and is like incredibly in the lead, right? So because he's standing up on Second Amendment policy, standing up on on fighting crime, he's standing up on conservative issues. He was in New York this week at a bigwig shoulder rubbing ceremony amongst Republicans, and a pair of Utes came in and tried to grab the cash, grabbed a big wad of cash out of the donation bin, and ran out. And I guess a couple of the employees gave pursuit and were able to retrieve the bad gentlemen's and the cash, returning the cash, and escorting the Utes off to. We know, Craig, a very very short temporary stay with the Department of Corrections. We know that NYPD shall arrest, and they probably won't even get to Rikers Island. They will probably just be released on their own recognizance because it was not a violent crime, even though they ran and fought with people.
Right now, do we know was it an armed robbery or no? Did they just grab the
It
cash?
was. It does not appear to have been an armed robbery. They at least when they caught up to the bad guys, there were no guns on them, and there were no guns shown during the commission of the crime. It was more of a grabbing it from the control of others. So they took it away from the control of others. The donations, the monies. Now, listen, and I want you to think that the only way these people raise money is by stuffing, dollar bills in a cookie jar or whatever. This was, it's symbolic of the entire money raising event that they do there. But somebody, like I said, some ne'er do wells decided that they were going to grab the jar full of money.
Yeah, apparently it was a man dressed in a maintenance uniform,
Yep,
and he
yep.
basically just grabbed a wad of cash and checks from the lobby. Well, first of all, I'm like, who donates cash in a political campaign? I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Again, symbolic. They put it in the jar so people know
Right.
that this is an event where we're trying to get money from you. Yeah.
Okay. By the way, you brought it up when we did our pre-show, and I wanted to bring up the photo of, I don't know if that's the guy who did it. Did they say the picture? That's the guy who did it.
Yeah. I'm gonna leave it alone. It's up to you.
Okay.
You
All
go.
right. We're not gonna say.
We're up. Leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone.
Anyway, just figured, just wanted to note and recognize. Shout out to my boy Rick Ector.
Couldn't leave it alone, could you?
I could not leave it alone. Rick, if you're watching, man, give me a holler, man.
That's it. Yep.
I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Stuck alone in New York, I guess.
Alone in New York, exactly.
Yep.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay. Let's move right along. All right, this one. Now, Mike, CNN is breaking news. Breaking news, I will tell you, once again, CNN has put out a first. Uh, CNN actually has put out a story, and they now have broken the news that now there's a report out, and we realize that following the United States leaving, the military leaving Afghanistan, Mike, that there were about $7 billion of military equipment left in Afghanistan after the 2021 withdrawal. Now, Mike, did we have any idea that anything like this had happened?
We pulled out of Afghanistan. When did what when did that happen, Greg? Um,
Evidently, it was in 2021. It's breaking news, dude. This is a first on CNN. Now,
CNN. Yeah. Wait, Craig. This just in: man land on the moon. Breaking news from CNN.
oh, so
America, yeah.
so here's the thing. So CNN for the first, they're reporting like we're the first ones to report this. Dude, did we or did we not know that billions of dollars worth of equipment was left in Afghanistan when we pulled out?
This has already been broken down to the exact number of type of rifles. We
Right.
know how many bullets, vehicles, exactly everything was left behind. But maybe listen, maybe this story got wedged between like a desk and a file cabinet, and they just found it and it went to print. I don't. That's all I could
Or
think. Like,
or now maybe this is a play on words, because if you look at it, it says first on CNN. Maybe what this means is this is the first time CNN is reporting this. Now that would be
could
honesty.
be. Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's the first time. Well, you know what we should start seeing now? First on CNN, masks don't work, right? That kind of stuff. Like
First on CNN, Hunter Biden's laptop is a thing.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. First on CNN, no Russian collusion. It's not news to anybody else. It's just the first time they've put it on CNN.
Well, but once again, Mike, and we've talked about this. How many times have you been talking with someone on the left and you talk about something and they act as if they've never heard about it ever before?
Yeah.
There are literally two realities being portrayed in the media. One is reality, and you largely see those via most objective and conservative news outlets. The only real mainstream of those outlets being Fox News and maybe New York Post. The rest of them are really alternatives. Like, while I love the Washington Free Beacon and the Washington Times, they're not necessarily mainstream media right now.
Right. No, they're conservative, narrow media. That's they don't have the widespread that everything else does. But yeah, this is just like you said. You bring up some things to the left, and they're like, "What? No, that's not true." And then they don't want to hear it, because once you're able to, well, show me your links or show me your proof. Well, here you go. Well, I don't believe that. Well, then why did I show it to you? It's just,
right. I don't believe
you weren't going to believe it anyway.
Well, like when I write pieces and I do pieces, I really do try to, in particular, if I'm writing it for mainstream news outlets,
Right.
I try to link to stuff that are sources they can't debunk. They can't claim to be
You mean
conservative, yada yada yada.
you don't put any pseudo intellectual babble in there, Craig?
Oh, I do throw a little pseudo intellectual babble. Oh yeah, I throw around the word equity a few times.
There you go. That's it. Conversate, that kind of word.
Stuff like that. There you go.
Yeah.
You go.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right, this story is hilarious. So we're going to go over to, this is going to be a part of this is going to be our parting shot for today. You guys probably saw the story about the BBC journalist, right? This guy basically was mistaking toy guns for real guns. And here's the thing. So he was at Walmart and he was looking for a plug for his laptop, an adapter for the United States. But on the other hand, he found that he could buy a rifle and ammunition, and so he has these rifles on here. Now, Mike, I'm pretty sure you know this. These are not exactly well-known firearms manufacturers, are they?
You got Daisy and Red Rider. Well, I guess if you live in the UK and you've never seen like Christmas Story or any other movie ever with a BB gun in it,
Right.
that you wouldn't have any idea, you know.
Exactly.
But but this, first off, if you want a UK adapter, go back to the UK. All right, go back there.
Okay.
It's clear.
Okay, go back to the UK.
Clearly, you don't deserve to be walking. This guy, Craig, I'm pretty sure has probably already been hit by a car on the correct side of the street, because he's too ignorant to know that we drive on the right side of the street over there where they drive on the wrong side of the street.
Exactly. So, by the way, the guy's name is Padraig Belton. So you guys can look him up for those of you who are just listening, and you can see the tweet. Now, going further down, now here's this is why this is part of the parting shot, because the responses are hilarious. This is in Newsweek. So here's another tweet by a person, Glenn B. Sir, it's getting worse. You can literally walk into Walmart and leave with an M1 Abrams tank, and it's got a picture of the Thunder tank here for $398 being sold at Walmart.
There you go.
Now,
Thunder tank.
By the way, the added benefit, Mike, is it's an electric tank, so therefore it's good for the environment.
Yeah. No carbon footprint. Yeah.
No carbon.
Has anybody told the Russians about these tanks? Because they're running short.
Evidently not, because they've lost a lot of tanks. They could use a few of these.
Get you some Thunder tanks. Yeah. Yep.
All right, here's another one. Best-selling bloggist Matt Walsh. Sir, it gets even worse than you think. They sell grenades at the dollar store. No! And it's got a picture of a little plastic grenade, clearly fake grenade. That was hilarious.
Boy, oh boy.
All right, this next one also got me. So here's a picture of a Barbie, and it says, "It's even worse than that. You can legit buy a person. I thought George Washington freed the slaves."
Hello, Bobby.
Oh my. Oh, Mikey. I don't even.
Yep. That's that crack staff at the UK there, bringing in all sorts of great information.
Right. He is a writer for the BBC. So just so y'all know, take whatever you read over at the BBC with a grain of salt, because that's the level that is the level of due diligence they do before they start putting stuff out on the internet.
There's definitely do involved, that's for sure. Plenty of do. Yeah.
All righty, Mikey. I believe that our time has arrived.
It has.
So it's time to give a shout out to our sponsors.
We shall. Welcome, and say hello to our good friends from the Grid Defense, Guerrilla Machining, and of course the California Republican Assembly.
Exactly, folks. Please follow them. Check them out. Their links are in the description to this video. If you like what you see there, kick them down some cash, and remember to tell them that the guys over at the Rundown sent you.
Get some cash.
Give them some cash. Give them some cash, or digital cash, or however you're going to pay them.
There you go.
All right. Well, it's about that time, folks. We're going to spend you a fond adieu. Please remember, like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Encourage your friends to do the same. We will see you tomorrow on Feedback Friday.
Whoop, whoop.